Hey guys, what's up? It's the Merc here from Bullshit Games, and as I said kind of at the beginning of this month, I am going to be reviewing some new RPG stuff that I picked up. Like I said, it's probably not new on the market, it's probably been out for a while, but to me they're new, and the first one I want to talk about is this book right here, which is the Dystopia Rising core rulebook. As you can see, the back. It is by a little company called Eschaton Media Productions. I know they do a couple other rules, RPGs. I haven't really looked into them. The reason I got into this, I picked this book up, is I've been in a post-apocalyptic mindset lately. I don't know what it's been, but it's just something about the genre that's pulling me back in. I think it was partially the fault of Drop Zone Commander, because you have a little bit of that in the core worlds and the Resistance faction that's coming out. So that idea of, you know, the fight for survival and post-apocalyptia has once again gotten its hooks into me and pulled me back in. So this kind of covers an itch. It scratches an itch for two things. It's post-apocalyptic and it's zombies. And I know one other reason I got into this is I watched the guys over at Roleplay Roulette did a review of this, and based on that, I kind of jumped into it as well. Now, some of you might be familiar with Dystopia Rising because it also is a LARP, which is a live-action role-playing game. I know from what I've seen and heard, I think it's pretty big here on the East Coast. I don't know if it's big in other places, but it might be. And while it looks cool, I am not a LARP kind of guy. I like my RPGs pen and paper style, sitting around the table. And that's why I picked up the core rulebook for this. Now, what I want to do in this video is I want to talk about kind of the setting and the system and just overall feelings. And it's just going to be kind of an overview video. I think I'm going to do another video going more into the core of how the mechanics work and more into the core of the setting, and I'll probably do a wrap-up video. So this is probably going to be like a little 4-video series, and then I'm going to do another one after this for the Mutant Epoch, which is another RPG that I picked up. Now, let's talk about setting first, because I mentioned zombies, and I'm sure some people out there went, ugh, not more zombies. Because, I'll be the first to admit it, we are currently flooded with zombies. We have The Walking Dead, we have The Walking Dead games, we've had the Left 4 Dead game series, we've had so many B-movie zombie films that have come out that have been terrible and good and just funny. Zombies have somehow caught the collective consciousness of society at the moment. And I'm sure there's some kind of an underlying psychological trait there that we could look into, but that's not what I'm here to do. The cool thing about this, setting-wise, is the zombies are more of a background piece. The setting is in a time where humanity has kind of... These are the holdouts. This is what's left of us after the plague happened, after we tried to fight the zombies back. And now we have what we have. And the zombies are a lot more in the background. They're a lot more of a... almost more like an environmental hazard than the main bad guy. Now granted, you can run a campaign for your friends where it's zombie slaying. You're killing zombies, you're clearing them out. But if you do that, you're missing some of the other aspects that the game is really playing upon. And part of that really is the gritty darkness that is survival and human nature after society has collapsed. The book does a really good job going into a bunch of different raider clans you can use as bad guys. Just interesting ideas for what cities are like now that the society has fallen. It tells you basically about... The game is basically set in America, which is now called Marika, the Marican landscape. There's different strains of individuals you can be, which is pretty cool. All of them give you a little bonus to your stats here and there, and some drawbacks. But overall, there's, I think, like 5 or 6 source books out. I have one. And it really gets into, like, what's left of New York, what's left of Vegas, what's left of LA. And it gives you ideas of how to set your games in those areas. Another cool thing I like about the setting is it has its own religions, which have just these crazy, they're crazy post-apocalyptic religions. There's one based on television. It's called the Telling Visions, and it's, you know, people believe in the signal, and TV was the creator telling them how it should have been back in the old days. And there's one called the King's Court that basically worship music. So it's really cool, and it plays more to the aspect of day-to-day survival than it does the oh my god zombies aspect. And I like that. It really feels post-apocalyptic. Now, kind of shifting from the setting to the system, it's a D10 based system with dice pools. I've played very few dice pool games. I'm usually a D20 guy, or percentile. The only experience I have with dice pools outside of this was Shadowrun, but the way they present it in this book I really like. Some other things I like that they have the system in this book is there's a universal price point, or universal purchase points, which is how you buy everything in the beginning for your character. And afterwards, in the inventory, like, equipment section of the book, it goes into how to convert that to different currencies for different regions. And that's pretty cool, because now you don't have to, like, kind of toy around with going, well, I'm the DM, I want to sell the group this, but I don't want them to pay full price, what should it be? And you can convert it to the local currency of the region for your game, and boom, there you go. Another thing I like about the system, they have a very interesting rule to run hordes, which is nice because you can run a horde of zombies, but it also gets into how to run hordes of raiders or slavers or just angry mobs. All of those you can do with the horde mechanic, and the horde mechanic is very intuitive. I'll get more into that when I get into the segment on rules. Now, the one other thing is this game does require you to have a deck of cards. One other game I know of requires a deck of cards, and that's the Savage Worlds system. Now, this game, unlike Savage Worlds, doesn't use the cards to generate your initiative. What this game does is each suite in the deck represents a different action. You pick how you want your actions to go in a mass combat, and then you flip the cards, and that's how the actions play out. I think the system's going to be really great, because the other day I was playing Pathfinder with my group, and we had a combat that just lasted forever. And I can't help but thinking that if we have this mass combat system from this game, it'll make combats quicker. And I like combat in my games, but I'm more interested in the storytelling, and if combat can be quicker, it's better. Also, it seems like combat's pretty deadly in this game, so that'll be a thing. The only other mechanic that I kind of want to talk about before I wrap this up is the infection mechanic. Infection is basically, it's kind of like The Walking Dead. Everybody is infected with the zombie virus. And what that means for your character is you can use the infection to get bonus points for things. So if you need to heal, you can use it to heal, I think, D5 wounds. You can use it to get bonuses on your hits, all that kind of stuff. But when you die, you have to make a check to see if you actually die, or if the infection keeps you alive as a living being, or you die and come back as a zombie. It's pretty neat. I'm looking forward to seeing how that runs in a game. I'm kind of thinking this will be the game you're going to see most of for the Quest for Gaming at college when I get back to school. So I might, I'll keep you posted in how that works out. So to wrap this video up, I want to say that I'm really excited about this game. It looks really cool. I like the setting. I like the work they've put into building the world. I have one of the source books, and the source books are fantastic. They have like maps with descriptions of places. And that's always been one of my biggest gripes with some RPGs, is they don't give you enough source material for the world you're supposed to be playing in, and this book seems to do that. Some grumblings that I have with this book is, let me just show you the style they chose to go with. That's right. The pages are gray, and your text is black. And it's kind of a stylized text, so in some instances it makes it hard to read. I didn't have too many problems, but there are some instances where it's a little hard to read. So if that puts you off from a game, I don't blame you. It's there. It's something you're going to have to either deal with or just skip the game because of. The other problem I had with the game was the fact that there are kind of a plentiful amount of editing errors. There's double words where there shouldn't be, there's spelling mistakes, there's just sentences that sometimes don't make sense. So if that bothers you with your products, and it's enough to put you off of buying a system, that's another issue. Those are the only two issues I had with it, was some of the editing and just the choice for the text and the page graphics. But overall, the pictures are really cool, and it's a good product. So I would recommend it. I'll let you know more. Like, just from a brief glance feeling, well, I did read the whole book. I read the whole book cover to cover. I read the source book cover to cover. So from that, without having played it yet, I would suggest this if you're a post-apocalyptic or a zombie genre fan, just for a read-through. It's fun. It's cool. So that's going to do it here for me at Poolshed Games. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, give us a comment, let us know what's going on. And we'll see you next time here at Poolshed Games.